Hello there. Welcome to another exciting edition of Community Report on Channels Television. I'm Victoria Idowu, and a happy new year to you again. I hope we've had a wonderful year so far. On the show today, we'll be taking a look at young female entrepreneurs who have been able to carve a niche for themselves in business. Welcome to the show. I'm Victoria Idowu. Starting a business requires skill and dedication. Speaking to these ladies who started a few years ago can say for themselves how business has been. Olumide Gbadebo, a skincare expert, started her business 6 years ago. She tells us a little about herself.
I studied physiotherapy. I never really practiced. I worked in advertising for a long time. But basically, I'm a soap maker.
And then she started soap making accidentally.
It just happened to me. It was never really the plan. I was gisting with some friends one day. Advertising is all about, appearance and all of that. I used to make presentations. That was my job. So I was very appearance conscious. And then someday we were with friends, we were gisting, and somebody said something about how her hair is nicer now that it's natural. And my hair was a mess. Like, my natural hair was a complete mess. I just used to wear weaves and wigs and all of that. So I said, okay, let's see if going natural will help my hair. And then I did, and then I discovered online that there was a whole community. It wasn't yet a thing in Nigeria, but there was a whole community, and they had, don't use these, these things have chemicals and blah, blah, blah. So that's how I now focused on products. So these ingredients can have these effects on the body. So I started mixing shea butter and coconut oil for my hair. And the hair started responding small.
From selling 1 or 2 a week, she became a business owner.
Then one day after maybe 6 months, I went to work and I had this cute afro. And everybody was like, because I'd been covering it with my wigs. And then people started saying, what did you use? So I had these small tubs. And then I gave a few people. And people started saying, it worked though. I want to buy. And then I was like, okay, 500 naira. Because I didn't plan to sell it. And so 1 or 2 people bought. And then I said, okay, so if you're selling this thing, look for a way to make it, add something to it. Make it more than coconut oil and shea butter. So I started reading again on the internet. So I discovered more oils, more butters. And then I found cocoa butter. I love cocoa butter. So I started doing a body mix. So now I had a hair product and a skin product. And it was selling. At least I sell 1 or 2 a week. And it was fine because I just liked the idea that, okay.
When a person thinks about soap making, the first thing that comes to my mind is factory production. Finding out that individuals can make soap from their kitchen is quite surprising.
You never really think of how soap is made. And so I found that you can actually make soap in your kitchen, in your house. It's really easy to do. So that weekend, I went to Ojota, I bought sodium hydroxide. I already had all the butters at home, oils. So I, threw it together and I made soap. It was really horrible soap, but I made soap. I threw it away, but I was so happy that I made soap. And it's very addictive. I just became addicted to it. And I was making soap every day. I'll close from work and I'll run home to make soap. Yeah.
Starting a business, she says, requires starting small.
Because I was always talking about the skin and the hair, he said I should start a blog. I said, I don't know how to do it. So he taught me how to do a basic WordPress blog. And I did it. And people started reading. And then after a while, somebody else said, why not just put the part that can let you sell an e-commerce attachment to it? And so I did. I took these horrible pictures. I uploaded them. And I did. And then I heard about Facebook pages. And then I opened one. And then, the way Facebook tells you what to do. And I said, okay, you can boost this so other people will see it. I did. And then I put the link to the website. And maybe a week later, less, somebody ordered.
It's been 6 years since you started the journey, and one can say that every step requires some dedication and understanding of the process.
So 2 years after that, I went on leave. I had time to think. And I realized that what I was making from this small thing was almost half of my salary. And my salary was pretty decent at the time. So I'm like, babe, if you sit down with this thing has potential. So, and then in the office, they had started some politics, usual office drama. So I just checked out. And I had savings that I thought was a lot of money. So I found a place, I paid rent, I did some cleaning up of the building, and the money finished.
Challenges come while doing business, especially as a startup. Seeing these challenges as stepping stone is one way to overcome some of the challenges she faced.
I used to import a lot of my raw materials. When Naira just, I had to look inward. And then I discovered we have a lot of oils and butters that are not expensive and are actually better for us than the imported ones. And that's how I would say God helped me to survive that period, because the business would have gone under if that didn't happen.
Record keeping is essential for business growth.
In my head, I was a cute little shop owner. You know, like those ones abroad that just have one shop and they make 6 soaps a day and it's cute and pretty. But then she made me realize that I had the potential to become a manufacturer, make thousands of bars of soap a day. And that changed the way I looked at the business. So the record keeping moved from a book to an Excel sheet. I was more intentional in the way I kept my records. I started planning.
Achieving growth and profit while doing business requires a lot of monitoring. This monitoring will tell you how far you're going, what you're doing right or wrong.
It's when I started keeping records that the growth came. Because when you record what you are doing, you're able to predict almost the future. When you see what you didn't do well, you can correct it. When you see the one that worked, you can do more of it.
One area a lot of people see as a problem in this business today is logistics and trust issues.
Initially, we used to do this thing called pay on delivery. And then we would have a situation where the dispatch rider would get to the customer and then they'll call the customer won't pick their phone. Then we'll use another number to call them. They'll pick and say, oh, are you guys here? Sorry, I'm not at the, something. So we stopped doing pay on delivery and we were doing pay before. But there's a major trust issue. I mean, if they don't know you, they don't see you. So that was a challenge.
Ms. Gbadebo tells us why it's important to get feedback from customers when doing business.
As I grew as a business owner, I learned to listen more to the customers. And with time, I realized you can't force people to do what you want them to do, especially if they're paying you. You have to do what they want, give them what they want. So I started asking more intentional questions, and I realized that a lot of people would say, I'm fair, but the sun, stress, hormones as a woman. So that was a serious challenge. So I started looking for natural ways to help.
In recent times, light skin has gained popularity over the years, and people generally associate light skin with affluence and beauty. That's why there is a constant crave for the change of a skin color.
We associate lighter skin with societal success. I think years of colonialism, maybe slavery, have hammered it into us that white is better than black. Even in religion, good is white, evil is black. Years of constant communication of that fact has led us to see getting darker as getting worse. Again, there's the thing of you associate wealth with lighter skin. That's our society. We hear prominent people say, yes, that picture was dark. I didn't have money then.
The skin is a reflection of what's going on deep inside the body.
The skin is a reflection of what's going on inside. It's way more than soap and cream. Sometimes your hormones are just in the mood to be nasty. And you just need to let your body do what it needs to do. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say a woman's period. You can't stop it from flowing. When it's ready to come, let it do what it needs to do and let it go. Acne is an issue for some people. It isn't for some. I don't get a lot of acne, but when I do, my skin retains spots. So once you know what your skin is, then you just adjust your lifestyle to suit it. For teenagers, it's a period. I know it can be horrible. It can be. So you can't really say, I want to go from having acne to 0 in 2 weeks. You have to understand that it's a process.
And different types of skins require different types of care.
Dry skin it could either be dehydrated or dry. If it's dehydrated, that's something that's easily fixed. The person needs to drink more water, the person needs to rest more. Basically, the body is just not holding on to moisture the way it should. So what you do is you increase the moisture inside and outside. Drink more water, have your bath more, use more of water-based products to introduce hydration into the skin and relax so that your skin holds on to it more. Don't expose yourself to heat and all of that. Now, for dry skin that's thirsty, that's it, that's what you use. But if it's dry skin due to age, then you use more of emollients, things that go in and help to build the collagen structures of the skin and just try to repair it.
She takes us through a process of soap making.
So this is the lye solution. It's the lye. Caustic soda is known as lye. Like when they say no lye relaxer, that lye. Mixed with water. So this was pre-mixed from yesterday. We use it for coloring. This particular soap, again, I don't use commercial dyes. I use the fragrance oil. Because it's a very concentrated oil, you don't need very much. Everything that's going to happen is going to happen in the next 5 minutes. Now you will see the change. The change is... We take this and we leave it to harden overnight. By tomorrow morning, we unmold, we cut, and that's the final product. Over here. This is the goat milk that we just poured.
Bumi Okwakunle is the second lady we're speaking to, and she says she started her car wash business after taking a close look at the need in a new residential area.
Moving down to Lekki here in Ikota, I don't have a job, I don't have anything doing, so I went back to the table and got a bunch of job listed out, and eventually I narrowed it down to car wash business because doing my visibility studies around this area, there was none.
Running a car wash business for a woman comes with certain challenges, but these challenges are not insurmountable. Bumi says you have to keep a keen eye on your business.
When you keep an eye on your business very well and pray to God, yeah, I think, you see a good result. So I put that in. Then I talk to my workers and I've advised them as well that, okay, this is me, I can't get done with this job alone. So I need their support. With their support, I'm able to, maneuver myself, even within the male counterparts. Yes, they see me do the job, I get my hands dirty, I never think twice of getting my hands dirty or my feet, I just get on the job and I do it and I just get it done, that's it.
She also believes that constant communication with the staff is key for progress.
Every day I have to supervise, I have to talk to my workers, encourage them that one day they will soon be, their own boss. Don't wait for anybody. If Nigeria isn't helping you, help yourself. Just get started, do something. Just help yourself. Yes. And that's what I did, and that's what I'm telling them too.
She makes mention of stock taking as an important aspect of business accountability.
Keep track on your records, either it's petrol, from the soap you are using, to the list, anything you're using, you have to know, because it's easier for you to just lose focus on napkin like this because it's so small. But when you keep an eye on it, you keep records of it. If it's missing, you have to look for it, and they have to find, a tangible excuse that you can relate with.
In business, no matter the type, keeping customers satisfied is key in staying in business.
You make sure your customers are your number one priority because they see what you do. This is not a job like it's been packaged there. You have to do it for people to see. Push this in the way.
Also a point of note is the people that work for you. She says you need to constantly supervise and encourage them.
Because I'm driving today does not make me, a better person than they. They can also be anything they wish to be. So I tell them that always. And I don't allow the customers to override them. No, I just try to calm that aspect down.
Running a successful business requires knowing the basics of that business model.
Get your facts right. After that, approach somebody who is in the business. Let them take you through. Not just by the theoretical aspects, because everything we are doing on a car is practical. The theoretical aspect is you knowing each and every part in the car, knowing the materials, what is being called. If you're going to wash, there are some particular place you need to cover, so you know that. And if you're working on the interior, you recognize the formica that is different from the fabric, from the rug, or, the synthetic rubber, things like that.
I am told to my surprise that when you start to wash a car, you start from the tires. I used to think that you start from the roof.
You start by getting your materials. When I say materials, water, soap, and your brushes, and start from the tires.
And from the tires, you wet the car to remove dirt.
Once you're done with the tires, you get your soapy water and your sponge, and then you wet the car. Like this one now is dusty. So you don't just get your sponge and then start washing, because if you feel it, you can see some sort of sand, little ones on it. So you don't just wash like that. You have to soak it, like pouring water, enough of water to rinse the sand out, and then start with your fresh soapy water and start washing.
Different materials she uses help to make the job easier.
When I'm washing a Jeep and my hand is not, long enough to reach the roof, so I dip this inside my soapy water and then I just increase it and then roll it, on the roof. So this helps me a lot to wash. And I can as well use the dry one to clean my windshield. Yeah, it will give it a clear and brighter look. And this is my napkin. After I wash, I use this napkin to dry the body.
And she tells us some of the challenges she faced while running a business of this sort.
Number one, as per pricing. Yeah, this is Nigeria. This is here we are now. So when you tell them a particular amount, they change it. So in negotiation, you have to be on top. Yes. And two, engine, you have to have a backup when doing this type of a job.
Where the pressure machine does not work, a splash of water becomes useful.
In some cases, both of the engine might not even work for that day. You try this, it doesn't come up. You try that, it doesn't come up. You bounce back to your hand. And this is what I use, my hands. I use my hands in washing. So there's no gimmick about that.
And to start a fashion business, we spoke to CEO Nod Fashion Nkiru Olorunsuyi. She tells us her love for fashion started with her love for art.
I've always loved the arts. I I've always seen myself as an artsy person. I wasn't sure where to channel it to until I got finished university, and I decided to just channel my love for arts to fashion. So I knew that I wanted to be in the creative space, and going through school, I just caught the fashion bug, just wanted to do fashion from then on.
The journey into the business usually starts with a small idea and a small space.
I started out with making bespoke wares. I still do bespoke, but family, friends, I now make clothes. I'm a designer. I do stuff from the house. I was working from home, getting jobs, orders, and delivering to them.
As growth in business continues, branching into other areas can be a challenging task. For her, she decided to branch into bridal wear because of the challenge it posed.
I've always believed that when you start out, you can start out doing so many things. Like you do the ashwebi, you do all sorts, people get stuff to you and you make. But I feel like it's good to specialize and be known for something, and let people know you. When they think of bridal stuff, they should think of you. So I just needed to specialize in one area of, bespoke wear, and bridal wear was just an option for me.
And then she branched into training. Passing knowledge to people also is an area that she developed over the years.
I just knew that I wanted to teach people. My training started out when I just stumbled on someone, a random guy. I went to his shop, and young guy, I went to buy some few stuff, ladies wear, and I said, okay, I was leaving, and he was like, oh God, he was just talking to me, saying, oh, how I wish I knew how to sew. He never knew me from Ada, we've never met before. And I was like, why are you saying this to me? He just said, well, I just felt I should say it to you, but I never told you I knew how to sew, so why did you bring that up? He said it's always been his dream to learn how to sew. I was shocked, and I gave him my number, and he just kept calling me. When somebody really wants something, he just didn't let me rest. And I started training him from scratch. He knew nothing. But today he's on his own. He's doing quite well.
Learning the art of sewing, she says, starts from the basics.
So we start with the theoretical aspect, because that's like the foundation of what a tailor or a fashion designer needs to know. Basic things, tools they need to get started, measurements, just basic things about even the sewing machine that they're going to be using, the parts, how to use the parts, how to maintain the machine. All of those things are the groundwork.
As a fashion teacher, patience is a key factor. Challenges faced along the way should not only be a deterrent, but a push.
So one of the most effective ways in running a good or solid fashion design business is knowing your craft like the back of your hand. The issues tailors would give you as a fashion designer or upcoming fashion designer is not being able to meet up. You give them a job, they delay your job, and sometimes you lose your clients because you're not able to meet up. Your wardrobe is almost complete once you know how to make these beautiful pieces.
And that's a wrap for us today on the show. Thank you so much for watching. If you missed any part of the show, you can check it on our YouTube channel. You can also send your comments to the social media handles showing on your screen. I'm Victoria Ido. It's bye for now.